Do you know what a federal offense is? We ended up breaking some rules down there and we didn't intend to. Well, good morning. This morning finds us in the Senator Wash area, north of Yuma, Arizona. I'm not sure where we're at. We got in here last night and everywhere we drove it said registration required or long-term, or long-term stay, long-term areas. And we drove around and we saw $10 a night and $16 a night, and us, we just camp, just free camping on BLM. Finally we found this area and there was no sign, so we pulled in. That's why I say I don't know where we're at. I don't know if we're in a pay area or what. This is an amazing place though, and there are lots of places to stay. Senator Wash area north of Yuma. Now I'm sure you guys are going to fill me in on all the details. Go right ahead. We just stayed here the one night, and now I don't know where we're going today. Over to Kofa area, or maybe down to Aho. I know we need to do a laundry, so we'll go back into Yuma and do that. We had a good stay down in the BLM Goldwater Range, but I need to fill you in on some details. We ended up breaking some rules down there and we didn't intend to. So there are strict rules you have to follow. We were camped, I think we spent 4 or 5 nights there, and one morning the security pulled in. That area is run by the United States Air Force, the particular Block A on the western end of it where we were. And he was a nice fellow, but he told us, well, first he asked to see our passes, and I only had the one pass. I thought you just registered for your car. But no, it's actually a hold harmless agreement, and every person in your party needs to get a permit. They're easy to get, so he was going to let us go on that. That was all right, but because you can just get them online. But however, Linda's going to get a permit so we can go back into these areas later this week. The other thing, though, and this made us leave, you have to camp within 50 feet of the road. So he says the archaeologists came up with that, and I perfectly understand it. They don't want you driving way back in. But the spot where we were camped, people had been camping there right along. There was fireplace ring there and everything. And we camped there because of all the ATVs going down the road. And they all go in groups, anywhere from 4 to a dozen. And they looked very responsible. Everybody went real slow past our camp and everything. But even at that, it was major clouds of dust. So that's why we backed up to the furthest fire ring in. So we were about 150 feet off the road, and he says, I can't let you stay back there. He says, you got to pull up within 50 feet of the road. And I told him, I'm not going to do that. We're just going to leave. So that's what we did. So if you do go back in that area, try to find some place where you're not on. We were on the El Camino del Diablo, which is extremely popular. It's become a big ATV road is what it is now. So try to find some place that's a different road that's not as popular as that, as active as that road is. The other thing is that you go in there without four-wheel drive. Well, we ended up spending the day in Yuma, doing laundry, getting groceries. Never did find anywhere to wash the car. There's car washes in Yuma, but they're clear on the other side, on the west side of town. It's kind of like miles to go over there, so we didn't go over that way. And besides that, we'll be hitting the dirt roads again tomorrow. We intend to head for Aho tomorrow. We were going to go today, but put it off so we could do other things. Anyways, we're in the VFW area. Behind it is BLM, 14-day camping, and it's free back here. It's right off Highway 95. And let me show you, it's a popular place. There's got to be 100 outfits in here. But it's kind of level. It's not bad, especially for an overnight. There's also spots back here in the trees, but they're all taken. And besides that, we've got the solar on the roof, so we got to stay out in the sun. In places like this, it's really easy for us to put up a toilet tent. It just pops right up. Well, after 2 very busy days in Yuma, boy, that town is growing. Big, clean town, lots going on there. But we were busy getting some things done. Anyhow, we got out of there and we did make it over to the Ajo, Arizona area. Right now we're about 20 miles north of Ajo. We're back on BLM Goldwater Range again, BLM Goldwater Range, Area B this time. And Linda got her permit today, so she's good. Anyways, this area is something else. Take a look at this. There was only one other trailer when we were coming in. Now this road is better coming in here. You could tow a trailer in. So I think you could. That was a small fifth wheel that I saw being towed by a 4-wheel drive pickup truck. So yeah, there's very few places to camp, and you have to stay within 50 feet of the road. It doesn't say the main road, it just says 50 feet of the road. So you got to be prepared to be able to turn around in some pretty tight places. But if you got an outfit that'll get you in here, this is pretty nice. Just obey all the rules, because we weren't very far inside the gate before the Border Patrol came screaming up on us and pulled us over. And we hadn't done anything wrong, but they had a bolo alert out for somebody. But they're all over the place down here, so they'll make sure you follow the rules, so be careful. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. Road closed. You can see where everybody's driving around the sign. Don't do that. It says the road's closed to protect the natural resources. You need to respect that. This is a beautiful place. We'd sure hate to see it get messed up. When you put tire tracks out here in the desert, they stay for hundreds of years. They really do. That's a fact. Well, Linda and I were just walking from where we got our outfit parked, and I think we're going to camp there. We were looking for a better place to camp. The road ended up being too rough, so I think we're just going to stay where we're at. But I see a cave up here that I want to go check out. It's right there. Let's go have a look at it. There's a cave right there, and right below it, just a piece of flake stone. And if you watch my videos, you know what that means. Ancient habitation. That's so cool. It was just laying here on the ground. Interesting rock. It almost looks like rock and cement, but it's all natural. Well, this is quite the neat place. It's got its back to the northerly winds, so this would be really protected. Cool. I always like to look for petroglyphs and stuff too. Let me put the camera down, I'll give you an idea how big this is, okay? It's pretty good size. I'd say it'd be a pretty nice spot to spend the evening. Come on up, Linda. Pretty cool, huh? Real protected back in that corner. Kind of curves around.
Yeah.
This is nice. Oh, I guess we should show you what it looks like if you look, stand up here and you look out from it. Let me walk up here into the cave and turn around and show you what it looks like.
Where's our... Oh. Well, there it is. Well, there.
Yeah. Boy, when the sun comes out this evening, when the sun sets, it's going to light this place up. Time to head down for lower ground?
Yeah. Wish me luck. I hope I take the slow route, not the fast route. No, that'll be the fast route.
All right. I'll be right behind you. In case I fall, I take you out too. So all over out here, there's these holes in the ground. Thousands and thousands of holes. Those are rodents. I don't know what kind. But that's what they are. You can see their little tracks all over the place. Right there, the little buggers. And their sole purpose in life is to chew the wiring on your engine. So, we've talked about this before in previous videos, but what I did here is, number one, prop your engine compartment open. And you see the little solar panel here. This is just a cheap Walmart string of lights. This is these party lights that I just drape over both sides of the engine. And it comes on at night and chases them out. It's something you can do to keep them from building nests on top of your engine. So this morning while I was walking around, I found this flake. You know, I'm always showing you guys flakes. These are what's left over when, you know, when an Indian made or somebody of a past civilization made an arrowhead or a blade or something. It's a flake from the stone. And this here is the stone that flake came off of, just laying a few feet away. This is called a preform. Thanks to one of our subscribers, I'm currently reading a book called Atlas of a Lost World. And in it, it describes what a major advancement the preform was. Because in man's early history, when they wanted to make a stone tool, they would go find a stone and make the tool and then, you know, and then use that until they broke it, and then they would have to go find another stone. And then all of a sudden they discovered that they could make these as they were walking along, these preforms, and keep them with them. And this could become an arrowhead, this could become a blade, this could become a scraper, anything they wanted, and they just kept it with them. So that later on they could either make themselves whatever tool they needed, or they could use this to trade. That book is also interesting because, Atlas of a Lost World, because it talks about, you know, since the 1930s, they've been saying that the Indians in the United States in this area came here about 12,000, 13,000 years ago. But they've been finding since the 1990s way older signs of civilization that go back like 22,000, 23,000 years. And the book is about how, you know, that they say that there was huge glaciers to the north of us that were impossible for the people from Siberia to come across the land bridge from Siberia to Alaska, and they couldn't come down here. Well, the subject of the book is how somehow, whether they went over it, under it, or around it, they got down here way before that ice melted. And so there were civilizations here in this area of North America going back twice as far as they thought, at least. Pretty cool stuff. So Linda and I were just poking around this little alcove up here and finding flakes and stuff like that from tool making and stuff. But then, can you see what's on that face of that rock over there? It's petroglyphs. It's like, oh, look! You can tell when an area is popular because you start finding all these flakes everywhere, which means that they like to hang out here, the Indians did. But look at the face of that rock. Don't know what it is. Lots of squiggly lines. Let me get us down to it. Let's check that out. What is it?
There's snakes.
Linda's been poking around in the crevices really well to make sure there's no rattlesnakes, but look at that. Well, this is kind of a tight spot where they're located. I'm trying to lean back to get this in. You can see this shape here. Don't know what that is. Something underneath it here. Down below, this looks to be like maybe a human figure. Arms down, holding something. Don't know. Pretty cool stuff. They had their own language, didn't they? Just like Egyptian hieroglyphics, but nobody knows how to read these. People can just surmise. Well, that really adds to the joy of things because, as you know, what Linda and I do is we poke around in the desert and we look for habitation sites. That's what we like to do. So when we were approaching this place, we saw this alcove in the hillside here, and we started finding flakes and stuff. And I told Linda, I says, well, this is obviously a popular spot, but finding those petroglyphs, that's a real icing on the cake. Another thing about those petroglyphs we just saw is they're not facing out towards the open or towards the valley here. They're facing back towards that shelter. So you had to be in the shelter to see them. Cool, huh? Well, I just made my way up to this arch formation up here. It's pretty cool. There's a cave back in here, or alcove. I say cave. Then it goes up through the top up there. Let's go take a look. Take off my gear here before I climb up through there. Well, I only banged my head 2 times coming through, so not too bad. Let's take a look up on top. Well, we've just come to a spot. There's all kinds of flakes from tool making. What you got there, Linda?
And a piece of pottery.
Wow. Somebody laid these up on top of this rock. That's awfully nice of them to leave it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a piece of a pot. But let me show you why. This area where we're standing is covered in flakes because right behind it is a really nice shelter. Really nice. Hey, come on up here, Linda, so I can show you for size. You always make things look bigger.
Except for me. I don't make anything.
Yeah. Real shelter. This is on the southeast side of the mountain, so it's protected from the southwest winds and from the north winds. And the cool thing is, when you get down inside, the roof is stained black with carbon from fires. Pretty neat. This is pretty big too. This has got to be 40 feet, 50 feet from one side to the other. That's why they spent so much time here. Very cool. Hey Linda, who was it you said, what what were the names of the Indians that lived in this area?
Okay, I may be wrong, and if I am, I'm sure people will tell me. But from what I remember, that they were called the Hohokam or the Oodam, and they lived in this region, and they moved seasonally within the region.
Sure wouldn't want to be here in the summertime. No, very cool. Well, I'm starving. Let's go back home.
There's another piece of pottery.
Really? Yeah. Let me see. Show everybody. Yep, another piece of Indian pottery.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Just laying on the ground.
Well, cool. All right, let's head back. Linda just picked up another piece of pottery. Looks like there's the inside. Looks like the outside was stained brown. Very neat.
Pretty cool.
All right. Well, finding the tool-making remains was expected. Finding the pottery was not. That was pretty cool. As we walk back to camp, let me tell you something. I know some people are thinking that it'd be really cool to go up in these caves and dig around on the cave floor and look for artifacts. This is federal land here, the BLM Goldwater Range. It's very well patrolled by Border Patrol and the military police, and we see them every day. Do you know what a federal offense is? A federal offense is one of those that if you get caught, the fine and the punishment is mandatory. There is no slap on the wrist. So when you see something up here, make sure you put it right back down again. Take a nice look at it, take a photo, but leave the artifact behind. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this video as we've explored the desert next to our camp. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not next to, at our camp.
Yeah, basically at our camp. We're not camped too far away from here. We just like poking around out here. Anyways, if you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe, and see you around.